my name is Lisa Feeweger, and this is my presentation on New Mind Strengths. Wow, it's crazy to think how our technology has become, to think that when I was in 7th grade, I used a typewriter. That was only 10 years ago. To push the age limit back further, instead of playing with Barbies, I played with toy cars. These cars are special though. They knew how to talk to each other, similar to the way people do. But now I see I wasn't too far from the truth. Who knew we could have talking cars? Right, I know, it's not exactly as I thought, but it's not just horns anymore. We are moving to a reality where in the next few years we're going to have vehicle-to-vehicle communication. Vehicle-to-vehicle communication is a type of wireless network where a vehicle will alert another vehicle of what is going on in the area that it's traveled through, including speed, location, direction of travel, braking, and loss of stability. Currently, this is only a concept. However, Volkswagen is trying to move forward and consider vehicle-to-vehicle communication the next generation relating to Internet of Things. What is Internet of Things? Internet of Things links smart objects like these items shown here, like televisions, printers, lamps, washers, dryers, microwaves, refrigerators, and even our phones and computers to the internet where they can exchange data. Cisco, which is an American multinational technology corporation, estimates that there will be over 50 billion devices that will be connected to the internet by 2020. I don't know about your household, but currently mine only has about 5. However, Internet of Things did not just happen. Actually, where it all began was 184 years ago. Can you guess where? Who would have guessed the electromagnetic telegraph? This invention was created by Baron Schilling in 1832. This invention may not have been considered the first Internet of Things, but a start to its existence. Let's think about it. Electromagnetic telegraphs use a system that helps transmit signals and data from one person to another through electrical circuit hooked together by a wire, except now we can do it wirelessly. By 1833, Carl Friedrich Gauss and Wilhelm used this idea and created their own code to communicate over a distance of 1,200 meters. That was from Göttingen, Germany. However, the first actual public telegraph wasn't introduced until 1844 by Samuel Morse, who used Morse code from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore. Anybody hear of what a Z1 is? This was the actual first functional computer. And it was produced by Conrad Zuse in 1936. We have more modern computers currently than we did back then. By 1960, the foundation of the internet was created by Leonard Kleinrock at the University of California in Los Angeles. And at the time, it was known as ARPANET. Around the same time, Joseph Carl Robinett, Licklider of Massachusetts Institution of Technology, developed an idea or concept called the galactic network, where a computer could speak to one another. In 1961, Paul Barron founded the Distributed Adaptive Message Block Switch, which was about performing survival communications and networks for the United States Air Force that would create a wide area computer network. However, the actual name of this concept, created by Donald, grew to be known as packet switching because of the packet size was 1024 bits. While the idea disrupted communication sounded great, there were hackers that existed worldwide. There was 3 different types of hackers that we know today, called white, gray, and black hat hackers. The white hat hackers are security researchers who discover vulnerabilities in software and will notify the vendors so the hole can be patched. A white hat hacker can earn $500 to over $100,000 by helping a company with their security. Whereas the black hat hackers, they use their ability to find or develop software loopholes and use malicious software told to break into computers to steal information like passwords, user information, and credit card numbers. Instead of selling information to the company to help, black hat hackers will sell this information to criminals. In the middle, here we have the gray hat hackers. These hackers sell information to government officials, law enforcement, and military. They are called the gray hat hackers because they sell this information to parties that could responsibly use the information for public good, when sometimes that's not the case. In 1966, the idea of packet switching was adopted by J.C.R. Lidlicker and Bob Taylor at the Information Processing Technologies Officer for Future Development of ARPANET. ARPANET was the first wide area network that reached between a TX2 computer in Massachusetts to a Q32 computer in California. Thinking logically about this, the connection is across the United States from far east, which is here, to far west, which is here, which is roughly about 2,560 miles. This shows how reliable packet switching offered the most promising communication between computers. ARPANET was designed to make it easier for people to access computers, improve equipment on the computer, and have a reliable connection for the military. As our technology got better, so the types of crime that happened. Starting from 1970, our first cybercrime was rootkits. This one here, the Brian virus, created by Ahmad Ford Alvi. He lived in Lahore, Pakistan. He infected boot sectors of storage that was located on the DOS file allocation table, also known as the FAT file system. His main target was IBM PC computers that replaced boot sectors with a floppy disk, which made the floppy disk drive slow and makes parts of the computer memory unavailable. By 1972, Braid Tomlinson created email in the format of user at host, which allowed us to send messages across the distributed network, similar to, say, Lisa Viehweger at yahoo.com. No more than 7 years later, in 1978, Gary Thurk created SPAN. He was able to send over 400 emails to 26 people within a short period. Unfortunately, some spam cannot be avoided because of malicious host scams, where malicious users try to gain confidential information through sneaky resorts. ArtNet, on the other hand, went international for the first time in 1973. The connection went from the University College of London in England to Norwegian Seismic Array, also known as NORSAR, in Norway, Europe. Later, this expanded all over the world. Why wouldn't we? This would make the trade market a lot easier. By 1982, pranksters like Rich Skrinta created what we call the Elk Cloner. This is a similar example to what users may have seen. This was a boot sector virus that started from a floppy disk. This virus would start as soon as a game was installed on a computer and was played for the 50th time. This would be what popped up shortly after. By 1988, Robert Morse created what we call a worm over the internet, which is similar to a biological infection. A worm is a self-replicating computer program that duplicates itself over the internet and does not need to attach itself to an existing program. By 1989, Tim Berners-Lee created what we call the World Wide Web. This was an idea to help scientists share their data through computers with simple computer languages like hypertext markup language, known as HTML, or Uniform Resource Identifier, URI, and Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP. HTML serves as the simplest languages computers use to display web pages and link documents together. URI, the Uniform Resource Identifier, serves as an address which is unique to different resources of the web. HTTP, which is the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, allows websites to communicate with one another to pull linked information from all areas of the World Wide Web. The first web page was made in 1990 and available first to the public in 1991. This same year, a Trojan horse was introduced as the PC Write. A Trojan horse will act as a genuine application with simple languages, but will fool users prior to an installation or execution. If users are not careful, it can delete all the data stored on the computer once the hard drive is formatted. Speaking of around the same time, this is known as crimeware. This is software that helps spyware programs, browser hijackers, and keyloggers, and is a usable scheme in a phishing exploit. Cyberware could access and use a victim's account for criminal purposes like spamming. Users have encountered denial of service and distributed denial of service attacks more recently, but the first one was discovered in the year 2000 called Mafia Boy. Mafia Boy caused $1.7 billion in damages to Amazon, CNN, and Yahoo by shutting down these websites. A DOS attack can be treated like a Trojan horse virus because a malicious actor can send a picture, document, or video with hidden malicious code. Once it is opened, the computer can be pretty much compromised. We've also encountered some attacks called the man in the middle, which is a form of eavesdropping that intercepts between a sender and a receiver to gain sensitive information such as a username, password, or even a bank account. By 2010, the cybercrimes became a form of a weapon called Stuxnet virus. A Stuxnet virus is a rootkit exploit that targets supervisory control and data acquisition, also known as SCADA systems. These systems are used for power, water, sewage plants, telecommunication, and oil and gas refining. The Stuxnet virus can identify the Siemens SCADA software and will inject itself into a programmable logic controller. Logic controllers will automate the most critical parts of an industrial facilities process, like temperature, pressures, and even the flow of water. Stuxnet can be easily exploited by using a universal serial bus USB stick. Stuxnet is known to cripple a facility's infrastructure rather than being used for espionage. What's that mean for us? This could mean the loss of power regarding warmth, air conditioning, our refrigerator, and even people who live on defibrillators or have to go to the hospital. We could also have problems with the 911 emergency systems. Or if the water is soiled, we might not be able to use it for farming or even drinking. If this isn't bad enough, our country has encountered problems with advanced persistent threats, known as APTs, in 2011. APTs are usually referred to as a group like a foreign nation state government that has the capabilities and the intent to target a specific entity persistently and effectively. These attributes are targeting someone specifically using advanced cyber techniques and keeping a persistence. What makes advanced persistent threats so scary is they keep a persistent adaptability and variability with sophisticated and organized resources while being well funded. In reality, if they wanted to target a specific business, they most likely would be able to get into it. While there are major problems lying within the cyber world, people should take precautions, rather big or small, to try to limit down on the number of cybercrimes that do happen on a daily basis. First, computers should stay up to date with the latest patches and updates. Second, computers should be configured securely. Making sure the right level of security and privacy depends on the user and should be common practice what level of support is suited. Third, users should choose strong passwords and plan to keep them safe. Fourth, protect the computer with security software, such as firewall or antivirus software. A virus is the first line of defense that helps the computer control who and what can communicate with the user's computer. If the user has a good firewall, this will allow the computer to know what is safe and what is bad by blocking the traffic. The second line of defense is the antivirus software. This monitors online activities like email or browsing the internet. By using both of these and keeping them up to date, it'll help secure your computer. Fifth, users should protect their personal information. Watch for phishing attempts by easily locating phony email messages as they have misspellings, poor grammar, odd phrasings, or it could be a website address with strange extension or consistent of just numbers. Sixth, if users see an online offer that looks too good to be true, they usually are. So don't fall for those free gift cards or vacations or that free software. because it might be malicious. With some incidents of cybercrime may happen, make sure to reach out to your cyber enforcement agencies such as these. This is a great list of cybercrime enforcement agencies, and they have similar missions, but their main objective is to protect the people and their businesses. This could come in handy with advanced persistent threats. We do have some common masterminds related to cybercrime that our divisions have found. One is this gentleman here, who's Albert Gonzalez. He sold over 170 million credit cards and ATM numbers and made over 1.6 million within a 3-year period, which doesn't include the 1.1 million hidden in his parents' backyard. We also have the Russia Federation use of Committee of State Security Officers who use their skills for monetary profit. Until the Soviet Union broke up, they were able to be patient and they were resourceful. But they hacked millions of people globally through identity theft and stolen credit cards. In Africa, we had Ghana and Nigeria who were also part in cyber crimes. Ghana, known as the world's largest dumping grounds, they were able to find unerased hard drives and stole financial and confidential information like account numbers, credit card records, and bank account information easily in their dumping grounds. In Nigeria, they cost the United States alone $55 million because of phishing attempts. These phishing attempts were emails that were written in broken English that people fell for. In China, we have the People's Republic of China, also known as the PRC, who used similar attempts related to Nigeria. While speaking about this with you, we have been undergoing some recent problems. Alone this year, we've had problems with attackers profiting from the flaws in browsers and website plugins, companies who don't report the full extent of their breaches because of publicity issues. And we've also encountered vulnerabilities found in 3/4 of the websites because people refuse to keep their systems and security up to date. There's also other issues such as increase in spear phishing and ransomware, even fake technical support scams, which unfortunately I've been a part of that one. Gratefully I didn't fall for their trick. We should act now. Follow a good list of cybercrime prevention tips, update our systems, or otherwise, what could they do later? Hackers will be able to connect to our cars, our homes, or even through our phones with the new technology through Internet of Things. Who would really run this world? Why not take control over it now while we still can? Do we really need the internet to connect to the coffee maker or the dishwasher? Well, thank you for hearing my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. I will send my presentation in the links. Thank you.